flooded with downloads and memories and all kinds of stuff. So I want to say these are hindsights, not much like it was, but we'll just say they're hindsights. I'm just gonna give like certain examples of like the same kind of spirits coming to me at two different times of my life. So, and most of them have to do with being humble. Now, when you humble somebody who's already humble, it's basically abuse and bullying, right? So let's just go with the first one, because I got all kinds of stuff I don't wrote down. But the one that's most fresh in my head right now is the Cinderella Syndrome. So I've been through the Cinderella Syndrome my whole life, right? So the two best examples I can give right now is when I had to live with my sister. It was me, my husband, my two babies. They were babies at the time. And we had to leave our apartment. So we had ended up going to a shelter, and then my sister was like, no, you can't stay in no shelter. Now, the thing with my family is, and this is a lot of people, I'm not the only one, but I'm talking about me right now, as far as people in my family, they never do anything out of the kindness of their heart. They either do it because you're gonna owe them, or they do it to look good for other people. So if people in my family found out that we was in a homeless shelter, the family would have been like, well, why didn't your sister help you? And da, 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 da. That's the only reason why she let me live there. So anyway, I digress. I want to get to the point. The point is Cinderella Syndrome. So a lot of the times when people, like I said, they never do anything out of the kindness of their heart. So when my sister let me live with her, and she does this with people who live with her, she did it to her best friend as well as me. She feels like, and it's not her, it's a spirit. That's what I say, it's a spirit. She has several different spirits in her, just like other people I'm gonna talk about in this story. But anyway, she has the spirit of, if you live with her, you have to clean her house. You become an indentured servant to her some kind of way. Now, mind you, it was me, my kids, and my husband. My kids were in daycare all day. I was at work. My husband's at work all day. And when we got home, we stayed in the room that we were staying in. We stayed in the room. My kids didn't run around the apartment because her landlord had a problem that we would live in there, period. So she tried to say my kids was noisy, which they weren't. So anyway, we stayed in the room. We got food mostly out. We mostly got takeout all the time. We barely used the kitchen. So if anything, you would think she would ask me to clean the bathroom, because that's the most that we would use. We didn't use the kitchen all the time. We didn't go in the living room. Like, we didn't use the whole apartment. We just used the bathroom mostly. Never asked me to clean the bathroom. So I remember, okay, so like the thing with my sister, she's an Aries. So she's my parents' child. So she would be passive aggressive, and then she would just be aggressive, right? Especially with me. So the passive aggressiveness was happening. Now, mind you, we're not paying rent, because like we're trying to get our own spot or whatever. So whatever I don't have with rent, I'm gonna be able to give you. Like, I was stocking her house. Her refrigerator was full, her cabinets was full, and we were on assistance. And since we were just got out of our apartment, we were able to get I was able to write a letter saying, you know, we need rental assistance so we could help her pay the rent or whatever. So, you know, public, it takes time. So anyway, not like we're not contributing anything. We're buying food or whatever, and like we're not using their whole apartment. So she was insinuating or like insisting that I'm supposed to clean the living room, clean up after her daughter, which is my niece, but my niece is 10 years old. She can clean up after herself. And I'm like, it's not my mess. I'm not cleaning up other people's mess. So, okay, the last straw was her boyfriend at the time cooked dinner. Now, he didn't just cook dinner. He used every pot, pan, fucking spoon, spatula in the fucking kitchen. Left the cabinets open, left the drawers open. Just a hot mess. Left the kitchen a mess. So she got up, she got up early. Everybody got up early. So, you know, I left the house. I seen everything the way it was. So when I get home, she starts beefing with me, talking about, you seen the kitchen look like that. Why didn't you clean it? And I was like, what? And she was like, you, my boyfriend made all that dinner for y'all, and y'all ate last night, and this, that, and the other, and you just walked past the kitchen and didn't clean it. Like, that's mad rude, that's mad inconsiderate. How could you do something like that? And I'm like, all right, you tripping right now. Because I'm like, first of all, that's your man. And he left your kitchen like that. I don't care. He could have cooked me a gourmet meal. I'm not cleaning up his mess. Like, if anything, that's your man. You should clean his mess. Like, the fact that you thought I was supposed to clean it is crazy. So, needless to say, I got pissed off and I left. Like, we packed up and left that day. But, went back to the homeless shelter, and then they didn't have no room for us, and they told us we had to go back. And I was like, yeah, we went back or whatever. But then, miraculously, because her landlord didn't like the fact that she let us move in without letting her know, and did that because she probably wanted to charge her more money or whatever the fuck it was. But anyway, her landlord was putting her out, and miraculously, she got a check for like $2,500 or however much money. She got in the thousands of money that she was able to move out of that apartment because of me and my family. So never got a thank you, never got any of that. You know, it just like people just move on. Like they'll never address the fucked up things they do and say to you, but be happy or just move on from stuff after they disrespected you. So then the next Cinderella syndrome is with my dad, who I live with now. So my dad, he been down here with us for like since we've been down here. Like he came like a year after we've been here. So we've been here like 12 years. So anyway, at one point he had his own place. We had our own place, he had his own place. Now, of course I used to go to his house. He's a hoarder, yes. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Now, when he lived by himself, he made sure he had one thing in the sink. He would have his mug in the sink, and he would clean that out. Like his dishes never piled up in the sink. Like he had one cup in the sink and that's it, right? Okay. So, and now this happened multiple times because we moved in him when we were trying to buy a house. We moved in with him. Let me tell you, as soon as we moved in, those dishes was piled high in the sink. And it wasn't just my thing, it was him. He would just pile it up, and he has that same syndrome. It's like, it's a spirit. It has nothing to do with the person, it's a spirit. So like people feel like if you live with them, that you become an indentured servant to them. I'm like, I don't know where they get this from. So like when my dad, he did that when we first moved with him. But it wasn't a big deal because, you know, I had my husband with me, had the kids, whatever. So we would just take turns doing dishes, whatever. So now, the situation is completely different. He's a lot older now. He's in his 70s. And my kids are older. Everything is older. So now, in this situation, this is probably the worst living situation I ever had. And like I said, before we moved in, he would have, you know, 1 or 2 dishes in the sink. The minute we moved in, it was completely different. He's piling dishes up. If he spills something on the floor, he's leaving it on the floor. If he would just do stuff like that because he's like, oh, well, there's a woman in the house. It's misogyny too. There's a woman in the house and she's not gonna pay any money to stay here, so she's gonna clean. She's gonna cook, she's gonna clean, da 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 da. And that's not how this situation runs. I'm all for being a team player, but when you try to take advantage and use people like that and just be extra, that's when I have a problem. You're not gonna turn me into a Cinderella. You're not gonna pile high dishes in the sink just because I moved in, so I can clean up after you because I'm not paying you any money. Like that's crazy to me. It's crazy. But yeah, the Cinderella syndrome.